All right, welcome back. You're listening to Real Talk with Dan Edwards at the Eastside Real Estate Team. And our next guest is Doug Peterson, who's been here a couple of times. I think this is your fourth time or third time, Doug?
Fourth time.
Fourth time's the charm. So with Get Priorities Straight, and he founded it in 2018 to provide a program to help individuals maximize your income, improve your ability to invest. And having funded and run 8 businesses, or funded and founded, 8 businesses. Doug's perfected a system that works regardless of industry, marital status, or income. He's currently working with Amazon managers, wealth managers, real estate professionals, attorneys, and technology professionals. Welcome back to the show, Doug. I hope we got some great topic here because I want to dig into, do you think that people are paying more or less attention to their personal finances right now?
Well, people do a lot more when they're in pain than when things are going well. I heard a quote that when things are going well, people party, and when things are going poorly, they ponder. So when people are facing financial challenges, they're certainly looking at it a lot more.
Okay, so more of a microscope, obviously trying to make some money stretch depending on your financial situation. Small businesses are especially hit hard right now. What are you telling them to pay attention to?
Right now, cash is king. People that are running businesses, especially small businesses, are often technicians, and they're very good at what they do, but they haven't been trained at business analytics to look at what are the trends, what do you need to do, when can you hire, when can you grow, if you have to shrink, where do you cut, because you have to stay in business, and money is the blood of business. If you don't have enough, you won't keep going. So I'm telling them, just pay attention right now to what cash you can retain so that you can handle somebody being a slow pay, or if you're a realtor, a closing moving out, or some hiccup that we're in a time that we can't predict. And with confidence comes from predictability. That's easy to say, predictability. So the less we can predict, the less confidence there is.
So with regards to your coaching system, it's a combination of personal and professional. What would you say is the percentage of people where you're only coaching up like their personal finances that don't own businesses versus the ones where you're coaching somebody personally who also owns a business?
It's about 60% of people that are just individuals. And because your finances are so intertwined when you own a business, it's nearly impossible to manage it well if you're not managing the business well. Somebody's getting a paycheck can count on their paycheck.
Right. One of the big ways that people can get in deep doo-doo is, what do they say? That there are only 2 things that are true in life and absolute musts, and that's death and taxes, right? So getting behind on taxes. I'm sure, because I'm actually very proud that this is one of the first years I didn't file an extension, okay? I actually paid on time. Now, keep that in mind that the date was pushed like 3 months. But, hey, semantics, right? Whatever. I paid them on time and filed on time and everything. But, that's a big deal. And it can be a huge anchor around somebody financially. So what advice do you have for people with regards to that are behind on taxes and they feel like they can't catch up?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is, and a lot of people don't know this, but if you're under $100,000 in debt, you can take your entire debt, divide it by 72, and the IRS will give you that payment. So often people will make a commitment to make a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 payment, and they owe $80,000, and now all of a sudden it's only $750 at 4%. So they can pay off other debt and save their current tax bill and be ahead with less stress. But the main thing is, it's not your money. When you get a check for $100 and you're in business for yourself, you better save $25 of that, or $30, depending on your income bracket, so that you can pay your taxes. Because
wait, that's not my money?
It's not operating capital, Dan. It's just not. And a lot of people think of it as it is, because often business owners do something I call checkbook budgeting. We have money. We can afford it. But they haven't looked at all of their liabilities and their infrequent expenses and said, how much is left after we've covered those? Then they put themselves in a bind.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's some systems in place that will help people kind of manage that tax debt in addition to helping take care of their own personal debt, right?
Yeah, and in fact, it was interesting because I went to an IRS attorney I know who worked there for 14 years, started his own business as an IRS attorney independently 5 years ago, and asked him about this because I had a client that had that problem, and he told me this rule. By the way, it's over 100,000. It's 84 months, and once we finished the conversation, he goes, "I've been in business for 5 years. I think I need to hire you," and so he hired me. And we have a great relationship because he's my go-to guy if there's something I can't figure out. So,
That's excellent. That's excellent.
So having the resources and knowing the people.
Knowing the people. So what do you think about financial planner to get your finances in order?
Well, financial planners are great at helping you create a financial plan for your retirement future, to manage your investments, to help you figure out what products you need, life insurance, long-term care. What they do is take a snapshot of what your expenses are and say, well, then you must have the rest left to invest. What usually happens is people have a conversation of, well, you're making $16,000 a year or a month. We've identified 9,000. Where's the other 7? Well, I don't know, but we bought a car, we went on vacation, we bought a deck. And so people really don't know what it costs them to live. And financial planners don't help them with that at all.
All right, cool. So it's a combination is what you're telling me. Is you can't just have a one size fits all in order to do this. How do you differentiate the financial planner from an investment planner?
Well, again, financial plans are, let me figure out where your assets are, what your liabilities are, what your income is, what your goals are, and I'll lay out a plan. The asset manager or investment advisor, they're the ones that will take your assets and say, let's optimize those. Let's see how you can get the most return depending on your risk tolerance. Now, I don't get into any of that stuff. I understand it, but they're all highly regulated. And in fact, they couldn't be on your show because there's so many regulations of what they can say. Mm-hmm. And I'm not regulated. And also, I don't sell any products. So I can help people move toward the things that are the best advantage to them. Because often doing a refinance is a good idea for debt consolidation. But maybe you should do something else, like borrow against your 401k, reduce all of your unsecured debt. I had one client, their credit score went up 136 points in 1 week.
Wow.
And obviously, Amanda, they got a little better interest rate
Yeah.
with their house refi. And it was huge. And all we did was roll it into a HELOC and then refinance the house from the HELOC.
Right.
A lot more.
So, there's a definitely one thing that impressed me. I ran into a hairstylist in Arizona and was talking to her about the whole stimulus check and stuff like that. And the first thing she did when she got her first 2 were to pay off her debts. Right. After that, she said, I'm just going to save the rest of this extra that I'm getting for a down payment on a home. I was like, that's awesome. She's got her priorities set. She knows what she's doing. She really kind of took advantage in a good way of the situation that came to her. How many people making over 150,000 could say they have money set aside? In your experience, how many?
Well, there's a statistic that I have in a chart that was from a very accredited source. And it says that, actually, let me back up. The comment your hairdresser said of, I would do one thing differently. Before you pay off any debt, have an emergency fund.
Gotcha.
Doesn't have to be a ton, but have $1,000 to $5,000, depending on your income. So if you have a hiccup. Mm-hmm. And then this chart was kind of interesting. 25% of people making over 150,000 don't have any extra cash for an emergency fund.
Wow. And
if you're making between 100 and 150 nationally, 36% don't have an emergency fund.
Oof. Yeah.
Which you lose a paycheck for a week or two. Look what happened with the government workers when they shut the government down. They were saying we can't live anymore.
Yeah, we got to move out. So money being as tight as it is, what's the first step somebody should take?
First step is to figure out where all your money's going. People don't want to do it. The program I use is called YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. People can hire me to help them, and I get it all set up and teach them how to run it, or they can do it themselves if they're short of money. But the idea is to embrace not only your monthly expenses, but also your true expenses, which are the infrequent expenses that go, oh my gosh, I needed a car repair. Every car takes $150 a month, no matter what car you drive, unless it's really expensive, it's more. for tires, brakes, etc., even if it's pretty new. It just costs money. So you need to embrace those true expenses so you can save money every month, just like taxes, for Christmas, insurances, and car repairs, vacations. The list goes on and on.
So tell me about some life change that you've seen happen over the years in your practice. And I know you've had it for now about two and a half years.
Well, I've been doing executive coaching and mentoring for over 20 years, and I did this for about 25 different people over my career, but not as a system and a program. That's what I launched 2 years ago. And the changes, and I launched it because I wanted to make a bigger impact in people's lives and just help them with their business. I think the biggest changes has been me personally, is my wife and I were never fighting about money, but we were never on the same page. And financial planners tell me 95% of the couples that they work with are not on the same page financially. When two people are working together in complete harmony around something like money, which often breaks up relationships, it's amazing how much nicer life is. So not only they're reaching their goals and they're teaching their kids how to do this, but they're talking about not you're spending too much, but what bucket's that going to come out of? You know, the vacation bucket, the home improvement bucket, the emergency fund, you know, it's the emotion is gone. And that's probably the biggest and best thing that I see happening, besides not wasting a lot of money about stuff they don't care about.
What is it? People spend a ton of money to impress people that don't really know them, and that don't even care about them. You know, that's not the exact statement, but you get what I'm following. Is people spend money to impress people that has no impact on their lives, and I think we can all learn some lessons when it comes to having a plan. So if somebody wants to get a plan in place with Get Priorities Straight, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, my email is doug@getprioritiesstraight.com, and just give me a call and I can give you a free consultation. I'm at 206-264-4424. And if you're interested, I do a discovery process where we go in and look at your financial situation so I can help you create a roadmap of how much time, money, and energy it'll cost to reach your goals.
Awesome. So, Doug, you're a regular guest on our show, and I know we'll have you back for lots of different times and topics, but it's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks so much. Love being
Thanks
here.
for coming on. All right. So after this break, which we won't have, let's just close it out with final thoughts. So sports. I'm just going to bring that up here since it's kind of a lost leader this year, right? Anybody watched any Mariners games?
No.
Doug?
I'm a Mariners fan. Sorry.
Okay, well, you wouldn't be even now because I think they've won 6 games and it's not fun. I think we need to consider reinventing some sports. You guys got any ideas on sports that would be fun to watch in the pandemic that we just don't make a big deal out of it because they're not that in-person spectacle? Like curling, for example, right? I mean, we could go there.
No.
I just don't know if I want to. Now, rugby started up. They're playing in England right now, rugby, and there's no fans or anything like that. But it's actually a real harbinger to see how rugby goes and whether or not we'll have NFL football. I know college football will be pushed, but Amanda, what sport that hasn't currently been super popular do you think would work really well during a pandemic?
Just from a social distancing standpoint?
Maybe, or it's just one that's always on but nobody watches, but maybe we'd start watching now.
What about like diving, something like that?
Diving. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Total socially distance. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, The water can be, I don't know if it's clean or not, but.
Well, they can just pump a bunch of chlorine in there.
Right. Seems like
Yeah.
that would be good. Diving. Yep. We should bring that back. Freestyle diving or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
You know, we missed the Olympics this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
See, it would be perfect to like do the Olympic social distance style. That'd be totally cool.
But javelin.
I mean, bowling, you could even
Javelin.
do social. So.
You could definitely do javelin, shot put. I mean, all of those ones where it's individual. I mean, obviously you can't do like the decathlon. Well, you could, I guess, in a way. They could make it work. I feel bad. Are they planning on doing the Olympics next year, or what's
I think, yeah.
because I know Japan built all that infrastructure for it. So, all right. Well, that's our show for the day. I just want to thank our guests, Doug Peterson and Amanda Peterson, no relation.
But we're going to be besties.
But going to be great friends. I appreciate you coming on. I just noticed in the background I've got a little fragile sticker on here. That's kind of funny. That's interesting. I'll probably fix that next time. All right. Well, thank you for watching our show, both online. If you have any questions about real estate, if you have any questions for our guests, you can reach us at the eastsiderealestateteam.com. Thanks for watching Real Talk. Take care. Have a great day.